All right, everyone, we are live. Welcome to the Livewell's Lunch Break here at FNGO, Wednesday, October 8th. It is hump day. Hope everyone out there is doing well, that you're not working too hard. The weekend is in sight. I know a lot of you guys are looking forward to it, whether you're going to go hunting, fishing, or just spending time with the family, or, just taking a couple days on the couch to watch football. I know it's in sight for you guys, and I know we're all looking forward to that. Got to power through a couple more days, but I do appreciate you joining me here today. And of course, if you're listening at on Spotify or iTunes or watching it later on YouTube, hey, we appreciate you guys as well. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, listen, I need 25 more to hit 9,000. So you guys go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. And you know what? Tell some people about it. Let's get us up over that hump. So that's kind of a milestone right there. So what's up, Michael, Jeff? Appreciate you guys joining. And let's go ahead and take care of a little bit of business before everybody, the mask gets on here. We'll go ahead and take care of this. Toys for Tots, December 6th, Laurel Park, $5,000 first place prize, $80 entry fee, and one unopened toy per angler. There's also a Phoenix contingency plan. If you are the winner and drive a Phoenix boat, you get a little bit more money. And again, you're going to blast off in the order of which you have signed up. So I have some that are signed up already. You guys, if if you haven't signed up, you can reach out to me, Danny, 678-283-6700. We can do it over the phone, or you can come into the store, but we'll get you signed up. But it's going to be a great time. And I want to go ahead, too, before I forget, because I forgot on the Livewell last night. Let's pull this up from my buddy Tony Watkins. There's a tournament November 1st on Blue Ridge, fishing for Matthew. $100 entry fee, two-person teams, 5-fish limit, 12-inch minimum. They're going to have raffles. They're going to have hamburger plates for sale as well. If you want more information, Tony, 706-897-7557, or Jimmy, 706-851-6565. Reach out there. That's a great event. Let me get my mouse back over here. And I got you guys back. So, again, I see all you out there. Yeah, we had a little bit of fun last night. We're going to talk about that. We are recovering. Okay. Please bring that guy back on the Livewell. I think Jackie would probably eat it. The new face of FNGO. I tell you what, it was fun. Hogan, do you know any electric trails for this winter? Not off the top of my head. I know some people were talking about doing some open stuff, but I do not know. Now, I want to tell you guys, thank you very much, because I was thinking this morning, about FNGO and what we do here. And guys, listen, you guys really, I know I'm the face. I know you guys look at my ugly mug and you hear my voice, but you guys are FNGO. I mean, absolutely. Last night you brought it. Every day you join me. You guys basically have ownership in this, and you drive the show. And, you are like, I like to tell everybody, we're like a little cult here. And you guys show up just consistently. And I just want to say thank you. But I want you to understand the importance of what you do and what we do. You understand? So, it really, it helps, puts a smile on my face when you guys, show up like this. I absolutely love it. Whether it's on TikTok or YouTube or whatever, you guys that came in the shop last night, it's like it was one big family. And Justin, absolutely. I want to thank Justin Ortiz last night. He brought chicken wings and drinks for the entire crowd. I mean, it was absolutely awesome. And, I just met him personally a few weeks ago, but I think he understands what I'm talking about when I say this is a family. And you guys, it was just, I tell you what, it was great. Great time and all that. Now, I still have a couple of things we're going to talk about last night. We're going to talk about our topic of the day, but there's a couple of things that I want to do before we get into that. And I wish you guys lived a little bit closer too. Yeah, it was great last night. Let me hear Jeremy Cross. I made the pull down from Chattooga and fished the Toys for Tots last year, and it was a great tournament. Looking forward to it again this year. Man, I can't wait. Can't wait to see all you guys out there again. Now, I want to do something too. We have to give credit where credit is due. And I want to give a shout out to a high school fishing team from Lumpkin County, okay? Lindsay and Audrey Gailey, and I hope I pronounced that right. They won the MLF Abu Garcia High School Fishing presented by Tackle Warehouse event on Pickwick. All right, 5 fish, 16.2 pounds, beat 33 other teams. A couple of things of why this is important. Well, actually 3. They're from Georgia, so we always root for them. Number 2, they qualified, if I'm correct, for the National High School Championship. So that's a pretty impressive accomplishment there. But also, and again, I think I'm correct and I read this right, they are the first all-female team to win that event. And I think that's a hell of an accomplishment. All right. More and more women are getting out into the sport, and we guys, we got to welcome them in here into the fold and support them. So you got to give a shout out. We talk about when you guys win a tournament. There's a lot of you guys that never win a tournament that big. And these 2 young ladies from Lumpkin County High School went out there and did it, and we should all be proud of them. And so, again, from FNGO and all of our family, we want to congratulate Lindsay and Audrey Gailey on that accomplishment. That's a big deal. That is a big, big deal. Now, let's see. Let me hit back on the comment section real quick. Old dirty cracker, I see you. Yeah, look, you guys are already. Y'all haven't stopped from last night, apparently. So, yeah, it was fun. Jackie was a very interesting individual. And I am going to have to be careful today when I cut my shorts and all that. But there are times when you've never met an individual before. Somebody recommends them as a guest. What's up, Pontoon Jody? And you just don't know. You just don't know what you're going to get into until we say we're live, and then it rolls. And then sometimes it goes really smooth. Sometimes it's not so smooth. You kind of you got to coach them on a little bit. And then there was last night. You talking about a train rolling off the tracks, guys. Like, you heard me say it last night. Very few times have I ever been speechless after a comment. And that happened multiple times. Yeah, when he took that 5-hour energy, it just, listen, I'm telling you what, it woke that boy up, right? But it was a good time, and I tell you what, I always kind of judge the guests, and I know this is a very simple way to judge our guests sometimes. Can't do it with all of them because some of them are not old enough. But I like to sit back after the show, go home, and I'm thinking, like, would I go and drink a beer with that individual after they've been on the show? And like, Jackie, yeah, I think I would. I think I'd carry some bail money, but I think I would. It was a good time. And again, sometimes that's the way these podcasts roll. You have a plan about talking maintenance, and we talked about that a little bit on your boat motors and stuff, and kind of his life on the road a little bit, and fishing was thrown in there a little bit. But Lord knows we talked about women and beer a lot. Now, I didn't have that on my bingo card, but it was fun. It was a good time. And he seemed very excited, very genuine in being a guest. And I enjoyed it. And I think we will have him back. Bail money is a safe call for sure. But I think it would be really fun. You know what? I got home last night and I was thinking, man, he reminds me of somebody I know. I'm a little older than some of you guys. And so some of you guys might not get this reference, but some of the older guys will, especially if you grew up in the 80s. How many of you guys remember Long Duck Dong off Pretty in Pink? And if you know who I'm talking about, you will be able to put 2 and 2 together. If you don't know who I'm talking about, you need to Google Long Duck Dong off Pretty in Pink. That absolutely, to me, is the carbon copy of what he would be like back in the 80s. I mean, I could see that. See? Yep. Long Duck Dong. I'm serious. I thought about that last night about 11:30. I said, my gosh, I just sat down for 2.5 hours with Long Duck Dong. I just thought it was fantastic. Now that you say that, it was a carbon copy. Art Jet. Listen, I'm telling you. Because the whole time he's doing his little facial expressions and all that, I'm sitting there thinking like, man, he looks so familiar. Now I'm 53 years old. The brain don't work as quick as it used to. And I just kept thinking, I'm driving home and I'm thinking, and then all of a sudden, and Andy Miller says that's the same thing. That's all he could think of while he was watching. I got home and I was just like, boom, that's it. So Jackie would end up stuck in a tree after your night out. Brian, yes, he would. The movie was 16 Candles. That's right. Okay, I said Pretty in Pink. 16 Candles. You're right, James Weber. Again, I'm old, but you guys know the reference that I'm talking about. But that was listen, I had a great time, and we can talk about anything he said. We're going to talk about a couple other things, but if you guys want to bring him up, we can. It was great. He got excited with some of those answers, but the greatest thing that I saw was like the facial expressions, and then being blunt honest. Like, how do you assess this motor problem? Well, I don't know. Well, I don't know. I just fix. I can't do Japanese, the Japanese language very well. Suguru Takahiji, is that his name? I know I said it one time last night, but it was fantastic. And we need those episodes every so often where we kind of go off the rails, but we just go far enough down the track so we don't get in trouble like we used to in the past. Not that it would have bothered me had we done that, but Takauji, something like that. Jackie. And listen, I told the guys last night, when I found out his name was Jackie, I'm kind of like, yeah, that's about right. Just like the guy that does our mortgage that's over in India, whose name is Mark. Every time they call me, they go, "This is Mark from," and I'm like, bullshit. And I will make them guys tell me their name before I will talk to them. Because I'm like, I know your name ain't Mark. So I was sitting there, I was telling Clint last night that I'm thinking, it'd probably be wrong of me if I bring up Jackie Chan. Pretty stereotypical, could seem insensitive, like, of course, yeah, Jackie, you're going to say Jackie Chan. And I'm like, what's up, you living the fish? And I'm thinking, I can't bring that up. There's some cultural stuff you got to be careful with as a host of one of these things. But when he told the story and he goes, "Oh, you're Jackie Chan," I'm like, I knew it. Makes sense. He was tired and said he was saving his energy for the little people wrestling in Alabama on Friday. I hope we get to go. He might jump in there. He's not a very big individual. I mean, there's very few people in this world that are grown adults that make me feel tall, and he made me feel tall. And, especially funny when he was talking about the 6 foot tall Australian woman, right? I'm trying to picture that in my mind, and I'm like, this guy, he's living the life, right? He is living the life. Single, traveling, fishing, spreading his oats, whatever you want to call it. But great time. So again, we can talk about that. Now, 2 things we're going to do today. We're going to talk a little bit about a Bassmaster situation that may or may not be happening. You guys can decide. But I did something too. I am the conductor of a 100-ton train going off the rails almost every day. That must be exciting and exhausting at the same time. And listen, I told Clint and them last night that the second we said good night, y'all, I felt like I'd been in a bar fight. I honestly felt like I had been in a bar fight. I was exhausted because it's like, I'm not lying, I was scared to ask some questions. I didn't know where it was going to go, which is actually pretty fun. But it was a good time. Now, 2 things we're going to do. And again, we're going to get him back on when he comes back through. I'd like to go fishing with him. I did not expect him to love Zoom baits as much as he did. That was something. The best question tonight was, what kind of braid you use? Well, I don't know. Whatever's free. I love it. I love it. Like, very simple. The man's very simple, yet profound at the same time. But we can continue talking about him. But here's what we're going to do. I got something that I did when I'm here at the shop by myself. You guys know, like you said, I'm the conductor of a 100-ton train going off the rails almost every day. Yeah, the plopper was his favorite. He told me to throw it more. And he would be the one to take noodling with us. That might be something for sure. Absolutely. But I'm sitting here and I'm always thinking of things for future episodes or social media. And I'm sitting here and I got to thinking, Chat GPT is an amazing thing. And you guys, you'll understand how my brain works because I'm sitting there this morning eating leftover chicken wings and blue cheese dressing, which was amazing, that he brought from, what was it? What was the name of that restaurant again? We got to give them a shout out. Those chicken wings were the bomb, man. What's up, Rob? Lake Trafford in Florida. You're probably hot down there. But here's what I did. I said, I asked myself this question. Where the hell this question came from? Castleberry Ale House. Okay. Yeah, shout out to Castleberry Ale House. Kick-ass chicken wings. Buffalo wings, whatever you want to call them. But I'm sitting there thinking, and all of a sudden, across in my mind, I go, if the 3 major bass fishing tournament trails were a Christian denomination, what would they be? Now, that's probably not a question you guys had on your bingo card, and I didn't either. So you know what I did? I went to Chat GPT, and I put it in there. And I want you to see if you agree with Chat GPT. Now, we're doing Bass, MLF, and the MPFL. If they were a Christian denomination, what would they be and why? And I found this actually to be kind of interesting. I want you guys to listen to the answer. So Bassmaster. Chat GPT says Bassmaster would be your Southern Baptist Convention. Exactly, Kyle T. Why? Heritage and tradition. They're the old guard, founded in 1967. Decades of tradition, strong roots in the South, and a reputation for being the church that built modern bass fishing. They got structured doctrine, like clear established systems and rules. Their cultural influence, they're so ingrained in Southern outdoor culture, and an evangelical energy because from the grassroots all the way up to the elites, all these different levels. So Bassmaster would be your Southern Baptist Convention. Major League Fishing, and guys, if you're commenting right now, I can't see it because I got this pulled up, Chat GPT pulled up on this side. Now, Major League Fishing would be your non-denominational evangelical mega churches. And here's why. Modern and media savvy, high production value, excitement, innovation. Think flashy graphics, new rules, and every fish counts. It's the modern worship movement of bass fishing. It's personality driven, just like if you had a very big charismatic leader. Flexible doctrine. They change the rule books. They do things different. It's less about structure, more about connection and energy. Their media outreach. It leans heavily into TV and streaming, reaching people where they are, just like digital churches. And I said, okay, all right. So, Bassmasters, Southern Baptist, MLF's, your big non-denominational mega churches. Well, what's the MPFL? And I laughed like hell when I saw this. The MPFL is your Pentecostal and your independent holiness churches. No, they're not Catholic. It's independent holiness churches and Pentecostal. And here's why. Grassroots revival feel. They came in as a for the people, by the people league, aiming to revive the everyday angler's chance to shine. Very revival tent-like energy. Emotional and passion. It's got a down-home blue-collar authenticity. There's heart, faith, and hustle over the polish. They're smaller, but they got a fierce congregation. Like Pentecostal or independent churches, their fan base may be smaller, but that commitment runs deep. And it's spirit-led growth. They don't have the massive infrastructure or decades of legacy, but there's a conviction that the Spirit and the sponsor money will provide. So there you go. So like that's what goes through my mind. So, Bassmaster is your Southern Baptist. MLF is your big, non-denominational mega churches. And then the MPFL is your Pentecostals. I thought that was funny. Nailed the MLF one. I see your comments now. But listen, I just threw that in there. It's crazy how accurate that is, right? Chat GPT is pretty smart. Which one would speak to you in the liquor store on Sunday? I don't know. I go to a non-denominational and they still speak to me, and you guys know how I am. Brian Farrell says, I'm going to do an experiment for us. The next 5 times I go fishing, I'm going to fish with only what Chat GPT tells me to throw. Joel Osteen fishes the MLF. So next time I talk to Fuller or Paul Benson or Big Al, I'm just going to say, you Pentecostal? They're going to be like, what? I'm going to say, yeah, you bunch of Pentecostal snake handlers. But I thought it was funny myself. But isn't it crazy how kind of accurate the way it broke it down? Again, just things that cross my mind when I'm sitting here by myself. Yeah, and you definitely didn't have that on my conversation card today. The MPFL has some rattlesnakes and chickens. Look, I'm like, why? Well, first off, I'm like, kind of like Long Duck Dong. Things just pop into my mind, and I got to act on them right then and there. But I said, now when that crossed my mind, I'm in front of the computer, and I'm like, why, Danny? Why? But it's like it's a hot stove. I just got to touch it, and so I went with it. But I thought that was actually pretty cool. So you guys tell me, are you Southern Baptist? Are you the non-denominational? Are you the Pentecostals? Which one, I would say right now I'm going to go Pentecostal, Southern Baptist, and then non-denominational, even though I go to a non-denominational church. But as far as what I like, you got to go with them Pentecostals, man. Right now, the MPFL. I can't wait to tell Fuller that. One night we wasn't catching anything really, and my buddy said he was going to look on Chat GPT for what to use. I said, let me answer this first. Literally had everything already tied on besides one bait, for sure. Now, Chat GPT can make you lazy. A lot of people just say, hey, do this for me, and it does it, and you lose thinking. But for things like that, I think it's fantastic. And I was just impressed with how accurate it was. And some of you guys made that on the comment or in the comment section. So now here is the main topic for today. And I cannot confirm nor deny this. I don't know that it's happening, but I don't know how many of you guys are on X. I don't know how many of you follow Trait Zaldane. You guys know who she is. Well, last night she put out I guess they're still called tweets. And this is what it said when I got home. Bassmaster is not going to let us run our live stream next year. They won't even tell it to our faces. Now, again, I tried to look around to see if I could find any information on that, and I couldn't. And it's not to say it's not out there. Again, I was thinking about Long Duck Dong and stuff like that, but this was going through my mind. But according to her, Bassmaster is not going to let them live stream during an event next year. And there was a couple of them that were doing it. Now, of course, down in the comment sections, you know how I am. I like to read all the comments. People are like, it's a money thing. It's a power thing. And then this morning, a man named Mark, he put a comment. He goes, you guys are doing the damn work. Why don't they just license your feeds? And this was Trait's response. First, they went after our podcast. They thought they just magically get the eyes we get by starting their own. That didn't work. Now they're after our live stream. It's going to work out the same way. They don't know They don't know what makes it work. Bass has zero original ideas. They are terrible at their jobs, and I expose that, which is why they scurry around insecurely. Egos plus incompetency is a dangerous mix. And I was like, damn, girl. I was like, wow, where'd that come? How's that out of left field? So what do you guys think? What's up, Doug? Michael says Bass is going to run itself into the ground at this rate. Jeremy says because people are watching them more than the crap website Bass has. Tyler says Bass is like the government at this point. Now, if we kind of figured out and sit back, what do you think it is? Is it more of a money issue? What's up, Corey Carroll? How you doing, buddy? Appreciate you joining us. The websites don't work and they piss everyone off. Not to mention, Bass, you named your daggum podcast the Livewell, and we've been doing the Livewell here for 3 or 4 years, so y'all can kiss my ass. I've said that before. We are the Livewell. But other than that, that's about all I got to say on that one. But everybody knows Trait. She's very opinionated, and one thing she's not is afraid to give her opinion on things. And so, again, I cannot confirm. I haven't seen any news on this, so I don't know if it's actually going to happen, if it was a rumor or whatever. But evidently, if you read that, she must have heard it through somebody else because she said they're not even willing to tell it to our faces. So it's going to be interesting to see. What do you guys think about that? Did any of you guys actually even watch when they would live stream? Did you watch the Zaldanes? And who was the other? There's a couple other ones that did it. I literally watched Chris's stream and never turned Bass on. Well, maybe there's a jealousy factor right there with that. A big company should come in and buy them out like a Prime or Netflix, and that's the only thing that can save them. We need Mercer to do a tell-all. Mercer ain't going to do that. I don't think that would be in his best interest. Now, Trait isn't my favorite person, but she tells it like it is. Got to respect that. And there's been several times on this, on one of our podcasts, I'm like, Chris is over there going like, oh, honey, come on, damn. Please. Just pipe down a little bit. But she's going to say it. You know she's got to make Chris feel uncomfortable from time to time. I actually like the stuff she puts out. And at the very beginning of her X page, the first thing it says, the opinions are mine and not my husband's. She's very independent. But I just was very curious. I see, what did you say? I watched a lot. I watched it a lot along with Matt Robertson's. And I don't even know how many of them were doing it. I don't know how many of them were doing it. Also, to you guys, while you're thinking about this, James says, going to Fontana on Friday, never been. What should I expect? What's the main bait fish? So if you've ever fished Fontana, throw it in the comment section right there, if you don't mind. Tyler says, I didn't turn on anything bass related except the Champlain weigh-in for the EQ, but I watched Chris's stream. I didn't watch very much of their coverage until maybe championship day, the final cut. If I had a guy that I liked in it, you know, if you had the Drew Cooks or the Emil or Paul or, you know, I'd watch McKinney. I like McKinney. Some of the other ones, I would watch it kind of then, but I never sat down. And here at the shop, I would turn it on from time to time. But again, since the advent of the little tracker thing, I'll be honest with you. I turn on the Van Halen and stuff in here, and I'll go over there and I'll just refresh that. And like, okay, he's in third. Okay, he's in second. I don't spend a lot of time watching them. I just don't. Now, I have seen Zaldane's live stream, and I've watched a little bit of it. But, I'm not saying it wasn't good. I just don't enjoy watching that kind of to begin with. You get what I'm saying? But do you think that they should be allowed to do it? Or would a better way be make every angler do it and then charge like a little subscription fee? We've talked about this before, so that you could follow your angler, but give the angler a cut. Let's say if you charge a $10 subscription fee to watch Zaldane all day, Bass provides the camera and the feed, but give Zaldane 50%, something like that. Make it worth the angler's while. But then you could do that where we could just go watch a meal fish all day or whoever. But what do you guys think about that? When Zona left, a lot of the crowd left with him. You know what was crazy though? I mean, Zona's all right, but I wasn't a huge Zona fan. Okay, let me rephrase that. Like, he didn't make me watch it more. How about that? Not necessarily saying I'm not. He did not keep me drawn to it. Captain Morgan, I was born Southern Baptist and still am. I can watch MLF from anywhere. The mega church and the NPFL, I like to. All are different ways to get to the same thing. Prayer and fishing equals life. Amen. Jeremy Cross says Fontana are herring eaters. So you should be used to that, Ramsey Fish and Carter's and all that a lot. The Bilge was a great podcast when it was in its prime. She is one of giant wall-mounted decorative wooden spoons always stirring the pot. She does stir the pot, but I mean, listen, like if you got a podcast, and I guess I can say this from experience, you got to figure out something to keep you guys interested, right? Or people to come back. Or if you're a clickbait guy, and I'm not saying they are, if you're one of those clickbaits, you got to stir the pot a little bit. You got to give something to make people come in and jump in there to watch. Give them a reason. And I've watched them from time to time. I'd watch some of the events off the web when working from home. Let's see. I enjoyed watching the NPFL live this weekend. It seemed to be liking it more than Bass lately. Bass should do something like the NFL Red Zone where they just bounce around to different fish catches, possibly. Thursday and Fridays, there's no commentary. I'd much rather watch a live stream. Bad Company says that. Now, Justin Ortiz is a new member. First of all, thank you guys. And again, hey, if you are a member, not a subscriber, but if you're a member to our channel at either the $4.99 or $9.99 a month, and I hate talking about it, but it is what it is. If you're one of those that support us, at the end of each month, you get entered into a drawing. $4.99 guys get one ticket, $9.99 guys get two for a good prize. We gave away. Yard was the winner of the JC Elite 5.4 reel, and we'll be giving another one here at the end of November. If you support us, you got a chance to win something. Plus, you get to see me all the time. You can help me out, right? Underwood's about to head to Lanier. I hope you slay him, buddy. Hope you slay him. Other anglers was going to start streaming in the upcoming season, and Bass knows they would lose a number of viewers on their website. It's that simple. And that makes sense. That to me has to be the biggest reason. And them finding a way to monetize it, right? Got to make that money. I've joined the kayak bass fishing denomination cult. Y'all the Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm just kidding. If you're Jehovah's Witness, I don't know. I know they come to my door every once in a while. That's about all I know about them. Kayak fishing is like the Branch Davidians. Okay, I got that with their inches and stuff. But Justin, appreciate you help us support and grow the channel. And Kevin's going to absolutely hammer them. But, okay, give me some anglers that you would watch if they live stream. Take Zaldane and Robertson out of it, but like, who would you like to see actually live stream all day? And it can be a local guy. It can be a national guy. Who would you like to see live stream all day? I'd watch Cook, Walters, Welcher, McKinney, of course, Emil, Paul Jr. There's a few more. Swindle for his antics. Bass will come out and ban it, saying it violates some rule, possibly. Greg Hackney, Fardog said. Coleman says the JHs won't visit my house anymore. Long story, but if you answer the door holding a tool that goes bang in your hand, they will cross you off the list. I guess so. Tyler says he would like to see all the anglers. I actually like watching Emil, Paul, Cox, and G-Man. Neil Scoggins says, Swindle, laugh all day. Messick Outdoor says that the Japan guys giving that last night. Yeah, I'm sure they can't act as crazy as what old Jackie did last night. I'd watch any of them as long as I don't have to listen to the commentary and deal with ads every 20 minutes. For sure. Underwood says Brian Thrift, best there is. That is one thing, though, with I don't know how Zaldane did it. I'm sure it was monetized, but I don't know if it's kind of like they show ads at the beginning and then that's it when you join, or if they had breaks every so often. I do know, I'll tell you a YouTube secret. If you are a content creator and you're making videos, if you go 8 minutes or longer, then you get that second roll of ads in the middle. You guys have all been watching the videos. You know how it works. So anything 8 minutes or longer gives you extra income opportunity. I wish the ads were only 20 minutes. Cam says Emil, G-Man, Kaz if he could. The ads are annoying for sure. Well, you guys, listen, that is how they make money. So here's the thing. If you want to go ad-free, YouTube, you can do the premium, pay $15 a month for the convenience of or whatever it is, of never seeing an ad. Or maybe they could just, let's see, what Captain Morgan, getting ready to come out of my mouth. I'd pay a fee to be able to log in and switch between anglers. Bass makes money. Anglers get a cut, but anglers are already not extremely pleased with the live. So I get that. Now on the live, not everybody's willing to do it too. Shows where you're fishing. Drew Benton, Clayton says. But they could do that if you paid a fee, a subscription. Then there's always the possibility that they could configure it where there is no ads. The anglers do not like how they show their location. Well, they don't. Yeah, that's true. They don't like, if you're watching it on Fox and they got the lake and all you see is their head right there and it takes you to where they're fishing on the lake. I know they don't like that part of it. I get that. But we're talking about a way for them. Okay, Andy says, I pay the premium tax for YouTube. I'm on it too much. Sure, 100%. We have it here. Now, I have that, and then I have my own personal YouTube channel that I don't do anything with. I don't pay for the premium on it because we pay for it here. And it's especially good when listening to music, just turning on a playlist and all that. You don't get ads. Or watching episodes of something. To me, it's worth the $15 or whatever it is. I'd pay $5 a tournament to watch Hackney and Jason Christie. Yeah, so I mean, it makes sense. I don't know the leadership of Bass. I don't know them. I know they get dogged a lot on social media. But I would think that this is a money-making opportunity that they can figure out how to benefit them and the anglers. Because and I don't know if they would do it like tips. Like, let's say Emil gets 500 people watching him and he gets 50% of the cut. If it goes directly to Emil, I bet he would be much more apt to do that, not worry about them knowing where he's fishing, as opposed to if 10,000 people were watching it, they put it all in a pot and distribute it equally amongst all the contestants. You see what I'm saying? So that maybe if you're more personable, if you're more entertaining and you flat out can catch fish and you bust your ass, you'll get more of a cut. I think they'd be more apt to do something like that. We're talking about Bassmaster possibly banning live stream next year from anglers' boats, banning them doing it themselves on their socials. Rob says, I would pay $100 just to watch myself live. Rob, you'd be one. I mean, I would pay to watch you. In a 6-hour live on Bass website, 3 hours of it's ads. No doubt. But that's like everything. You've heard me say, hey, listen, do the math kind of this. In a 30-minute TV show, and this is something I know about, 22 minutes is content, 8 minutes is commercial breaks. That's a 30-minute. Go home and watch TV tonight. It's 4 parts. And you're going to have an ad break between each one of them. So 22 minutes, 8 minutes of it's commercials. A pro football game, good Lord. They go, especially as it gets into the playoffs and everything, it gets awful. Now, somebody made a comment on here I want to pull back up because not near as many people are talking on TikTok today. But they can't Nick D says, but they can't ban me from following them and live streaming it. You could follow and do it. This makes me feel pretty good. Jeff Edwards, learned more from y'all in the last 2 months than I have in years. Well, Jeff, that's why we're here. We're just yahoos like you, man, trying to figure it all out. And as you stay around a little bit longer and learn, there's going to come a day when you're going to be able to help somebody out with a comment or suggestion, just like James needed here earlier. And, of course, somebody in the comment section answers it. That's what I'm saying, guys. Like, you guys, I may drive the ship. You guys are the gas that makes it go. I would think the ads could be designed so they can continually stream like a ticker at the top of the screen. So, we have a ticker that I could be running. It's much easier when the guy back there is doing it. It takes a little bit of work, but you're right. I mean, if ESPN and all that can keep the scores of the games going and the news, how they kind of update you down at the bottom, surely Bass could do that. It's not that difficult. I mean, hell, StreamYard can do it. And I'm sure they're probably using better stuff than StreamYard. But if we could do it, we just choose not to. But if we could do it, certainly they could do it. But now then you got to look at it this way. I'm Humminbird. I'm going to give you, and this is not what they pay. I don't know what the hell they pay. I'm just throwing this out for conversation's sake. I'm going to give you $1 million sponsorship for the year. I want my logo. I want my commercials. I want that being played. I don't want my name on the bottom of a ticker. Could they go split screen like NASCAR does, where you can still continue to see the cars going around the track and they're running commercials over here? Maybe. I don't know. But I know that when the dollar bill is involved, a company wants their logo. They want their stuff. They pay to have commercials made. They want them played. I get it. I just don't know how you can do it and make it more palatable for the consumer. I started the premium on YouTube 3 months ago and will never be able to go back. You can't. Trust me. That's why I do. I watch the majority of our stuff on the Fish North Georgia channel, on our channel, than I do on my personal YouTube. They seem like yahoos as of late. Ray Scott would hate what Bass has turned into. Now, let me ask you that with that comment right there. And you may be 100% right, Jeremy, but do you think he would hate the entire sport, not just the organization of Bass? Because I see a lot of people saying that. And I'm not saying that it's incorrect. I'm asking, do you think he would look down from 80,000 feet and just not like any of it? Or is it just, would his ire be towards his organization? And I'm sure he would have stronger feelings toward his organization. But do you think you would be happy with all of it? Kevin says, I show my areas on my live. You get to see it all, lures and everything, for sure. And what's up, Kendra? How you doing today, hon? Yeah, and that's why people like it, Kevin. That's why people like it. You guys should go check out his Patreon, Lipsticker Fishing. Check it out, especially if you fish Lanier. It's worth it. Mike Geiger, what's up with you? John G said, I've had YouTube Premium for about 2 years. I think it's $14 well worth it. It is. It is for me. I'm sorry that you're working and not fishing. I'm working too. I'm not getting to fish. Although I may try to hit the woods this afternoon. I don't know yet. It doesn't right. So look, I know Cam, but we're talking about bass, but MLF or even the NPFL. This is something that you could do. You would pay to watch Kaz. I have fished with Kaz. Kaz is a good time in the boat. Seriously, he is. And so he would be worth paying for. The last angler I would pay to watch would be Bernie Schultz. Him and Randy Blockett are two of the same. Okay, well, listen, that's the thing. You get your choice. You get your freedom. And to be honest, I think if they were to ever come up with a system to where you could pay a subscription to watch any of the anglers that you wanted to at any given time, that somebody like G-Man or even our favorites, Cook, Marks, Emil, all them, they should get their money and not have to split it with somebody like Bernie Schultz, who does it, and I don't know Bernie. I just take it from your comment that, he's not fun to watch. I would pay to watch Gerald Swindle. Kendra said, I bet you would. You like him? You think he's funny? I just ain't figured out why he shaves his chest. I don't know. It's just something about grown men shaving their chest to me. I just don't know. If I shaved my chest, I'd look like a 13-year-old. I live on Logan Martin. Got to watch Swindle set the hook on the biggest fish his final day. That's pretty cool, Aaron. I think that's awesome. But you would like to have the ability to, if we were going to live stream and they were, given that option, I guarantee you'd pay to watch G-Man. And if G-Man had 3,000 people watching him on a given tournament day, he should get 50% of that cut. Now, Aaron said it was from under my dock. It's so insane seeing it in real life versus TV. I bet it was, man. That's awesome. Kendra said, I love the guy. He's so funny. I've met him once. I would pay big money to fish with him. Let me see if we can pull some strings. Aaron says, I have videos and pics galore of him from that day. I bet you do. And that's a cool-ass memory, Aaron. But again, I just don't get why he shaves his chest, man. It bothers me. Danny got shadow banned on TikTok probably due to last night. Yeah, they ain't a ton of people on there today. We probably scared some of them. Now, Kendra, you said, oh, my God, that would be a dream come true. We'll see if we can. I mean, I don't know him personally, but I know enough people that know him. You might have to make the drive, but maybe we can make it happen. He caught his first and his last fish that day off my dock. That's a cool-ass story right there. Jeff Edwards says, not sure there's another state in the country that is struggling more than Colorado. Would be interesting to see a program/show done here. Okay, Jeff, you're in Colorado? And you're watching us. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, man. What kind of bass fishing is in Colorado? Every time somebody talks about Colorado, to me, they're talking about going trout fishing. And go ahead and put what you're talking about right there. I wish you could put photos and videos in the chat, but you can post them on the Fish North Georgia group page for all the guys after the show can go see. I'll let it go through. I moderate that if you want to send it. And if you're not a member of it, I'm going to ask you why not? Why not? The difference is the ads on TV are different. Bass has the same as every time. That is true. That is true. But you know what that is? You know whose fault that is? It's the people selling the ads. It's the people selling the ads. They will, if they got 100 companies, they'll fill that time space with 100 companies. You dang right they will. Kendra, you post your 5-pound smallie on there. We accept people from Michigan. Absolutely. Just make sure you follow, like you join the group. Then that way I can let your post go in. What's up, Tony? But I do agree with you, Jeremy. I get tired of seeing the same commercial every single time. Bottom line outdoors, do you use a B.A.S. or spinning gear for your underspin? Listen, I don't use a B.A.S. for anything. I'm just not one of those guys that have bought into that. If I'm throwing a 3/8 or a half-ounce spot choker or something like that, I'll use most of the time, depending on where I'm fishing and who I'm fishing with. But I'll use a bait caster or a spinning rod. I can use both. It just depends on what I'm doing. If I'm doing a little more kind of the finessier style, I'll throw it on a spinning gear. But I mean, sometimes you can just crank them out there with that bait caster, let it fall down, and do the same thing. Just a regular old bait caster. I just haven't bought into the B.A.S. stuff. Maybe it's great. I don't know. Now, Far Dog's telling you guys, hit the like button, please. He's going to hound you guys. It does help us with the algorithm. It throws us out to more people when you guys do that. Now, Kendra in Michigan says she uses a bait caster with her underspins unless she's finessing them. Then it's a spinning rod. Same way. That's the way I am. Spinning, B.A.S. works just as well from what I understand. Maybe more casting distance with the B.A.S. I don't know. I mean, listen, we can bomb-ass cast them things with regular bait caster. I mean, Underwood does. Man, I watched it. I mean, he pulls out, when he goes goes spinning reel, he's kind of drop shotting and stuff. But he throws a lot of his flukes, everything. He throws them most of the time on a bait caster. And I don't think they're B.A.S. reels. He may still be on here. He can chime in on that. As much as everyone complains about the commercials, you have to wonder if they're doing any good for the companies. Well, I'll tell you this. As I am learning the TV industry, and I am still learning a lot, it is all based upon views, your click rate, your retention rate, all that. And then there's analytics out the wazoo, and you guys know this. This is not something new. But it's the same thing with the sponsorship on this show. If you're a guide, I've got to be able to basically help you book X amount of trips per year. If you're Sonar Pros, I've got to basically help get X amount of boats in your shop per year. Digital Sportsman, Groove Fishing, I've got to help Groove Fishing sell some tackle boxes, which you guys should go to groovefishing.com and check them out. It's awesome stuff. I'm going to be selling it here in the store. But you'll be able to get it in Tackle Warehouse, I think what's that, Fishing USA? This place, it's big in Canada. But there's always that return on investment. So I would venture to say too, plus the bigger companies, they budget, they got an advertising budget that's monstrous that they set in October, November of the previous year, and they got to spend it. So I'm sure they have figured it out. I would say that for the vast majority of them, it does. I would say it does, or they just wouldn't do it. I hit that. Let's see. As common as subscriptions are, I can't believe pro fishing hasn't exploited it. I know, that's what I'm saying. G-Man shaves because you can't grow grass on a playground. Dude, I like a clean ball field. I get it. There's some trimming to be done, but this ain't where you need to play. I hope he doesn't see that and think I'm making fun of him. Because first time I meet him, I'm gonna be like, dude, really, I really don't care. Kind of like Patrick Walters. I always make fun of Patrick Walters. I don't make fun of him. I'm like, I could pick Patrick Walters' ass out of a lineup. I say that often. And I probably really could. If you had, just based on the shorts, if you had like 10 pro anglers that all kind of look the same and they were looking down, I probably could pick Patrick Walters out of that. Because I watch Patrick when he's on. No Brokeback Mountain here. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about, you just can. Got me some chili cheese burritos today. Heck yeah, Alex. Love those things. Jarek, 14, what's going on, buddy? Had to switch to YouTube. TikTok got the lagging and all else. I don't know what's up with TikTok. All right, buddy. See you, DP, out there. Danny, you would be proud. I threw a fairy one with a wacky rig on it yesterday evening. Well, did you catch some? That's why I'd be even more proud if you caught something. Brokeback Mountain, I'm dead. Hey, listen. If that's the game you play, I can still be your friend. Fishing has no boundaries. But it is kind of funny, isn't it? I'm not into that B.A.S. stuff either, Danny. If it's too light for my regular bait caster, it goes on a spinning wheel. Spinning reel. I use a whack. You guys know this. This is Let me tell you how I've overcome in life. When I was in elementary school, I took speech. And if you listen to me every once in a while, I have trouble with W's, like wacky. Sometimes I go, you'll hear me. You will hear me do that. I was that kid that had, I had buck teeth, and then I took them out. I had false teeth. I was the kid in elementary school that had that daggum headgear on. I had to take speech. So I'm proud of myself. Who knew back there in the 3rd and 4th grade where I was going, that I would end up having a daggum podcast? See, you can do anything in this country if you set your mind to it. You can overcome. But anyway, wacky rig. I used it a lot Saturday. I love it. But you're right, Jeff Brazil. Same thing. I mean, don't overcomplicate it. Aaron Parker, the last thing on Swindle, that whip noise you hear sometimes when he sets the hook is 100 times louder listening to it with your own 2 ears. Even my phone mic didn't pick it up really. Listen, I bet so. It's totally different. It's us, the viewers, and supporters' responsibility to support those companies that support what we love. Use the FNGO sponsors. It helps more than you could imagine. It does. It does. It's my damn gas money, guys. Slackliner. That's what she's called, slackliner. Yeah. Danny, you need to put your advertisement up on their thing. Listen, no, you know what? B.A.S.S needs to advertise on my page. I got a big enough reach now. They should advertise here. I'll cut them a deal. You might be right though. I'm sure it's like out the ass so expensive. I bet it is. What I would like is for one of you guys to actually make it to the elites and let me wrap your boat with a Livewell wrap that's got my face and this microphone on it going. And let everybody in the world see that while you're slamming bass. Huh? Anyone here ever fished Lake Santalay? I have no idea how to pronounce it. That's a shocker, right, guys? Wondering if there are any trout in it, and if I stand a chance going from the bank, going up to the tail of the dragon and taking my micros with me this weekend. Okay, so it's one of them northern mountain lakes. I've never fished it. NC Bass Puller. Cam, are you talking about the one in North Carolina? Now, Jeremy, this is true right here, too. Southern accent and talk text don't go together. Dude, yeah, my phone does not pick up redneck. Does not pick up redneck at all. I'll be trying to, send, because of course I try to drive responsibly, at least as far as you guys know. And I'll be trying to do that voice recognition, and I'll be saying, "Hey, I'd like a hamburger for supper tonight." And I'd look down on it, it's like, it'll say something, "You need to shut your mouth tight." It's something like that. And then my wife's, and I don't pay no attention. I hit it, before I even look at it, and I see what it said. I'm like, "Oh, here it comes." That's not what I meant, babe. That's not what I meant. But no, it doesn't do that right at all. Danny, I put the Chapo up for a while. Too many leaves on the river today. Been throwing a wacky, and I'm up to 9 bass so far. Oconee River out of Milledgeville, Georgia. There you go. I was really shocked that Jackie liked that Chapo last night. What's your favorite bait? Oh. You saw him last night. You go, oh. I'm like, Jackie, no way. But he liked it. That's my goal for next year, Danny. Yeah, Rob, would you like to fish all year with my face on the side of your boat? Got to be towards the front, dude. I don't want him in the back where I'm out of water. Or look, what we could do is we could figure out where the water line normally is, and I could just sit there in my hands and have my eyes and my nose up above it, just staring at the people. Kendra said she would totally do it. Problem is I got to pay for it. Charles says you can wrap mine. Like everybody wants a Livewell wrap, right? Them things ain't cheap. I'd have to find somebody to pay for that. But I think it'd be funny as hell. Or Rob, maybe I'll be your main sponsor next year and just have my big face right there on your chest. So every time you go in, you got a picture of you wading the fish. I'm going to be sitting there like this. $1,300, huh? They're going to charge you double if they put my face on it. You can guarantee that. Would I wrap a kayak? I wouldn't wrap it, but you can put my face on it if you want. Jackie was right. He was. Kevin goes, I never wrap my boat. Come on now, Kevin. You and I are buddies. We go back. Danny Shaden is fishing the Opens next year after graduating college. I'll keep you on standby if he qualifies. For sure, dude. Like, we still need to get him on at some point talk. I know we talked about it several times. Captain J. Morgan said, like one of those plumbers on the side of a white van. Looks like they're sitting on the toilet on the driver's side. We could do that. Y'all put my face on it. I'll wear a thong or something like that. We can do one of them model poses from the backside with my eyeballs just kind of looking over my shoulder with like a beer in my hand. What would they say? What would B.A.S.S say? No, your face needs to be in the middle of the jersey. What would B.A.S.S say if you pulled up and all you saw was me, with a bush light in my hand and a microphone and my thumb up on the side of your boat, on the front of your jersey? You must really like thongs. No, not really. They're kind of uncomfortable, Tracy. Have you ever worn one? Have you ever wore one? True story. When my dad was alive, him and my mom went to a Christmas party. One of them white elephant gag gift kind of things. Hold on a second. I'm going to have to, let me fix TikTok before I tell that story, because it gets involved. It gets involved. Sometimes this is much easier. Again, multitasking is not my strength, but looks like today it's going to work pretty good. I think B.A.S.S would ban you, though. If they don't like live streams, they certainly ain't going to like daggum my face on the side of one of their boats or on somebody's jersey. The NPFL, they like me. They might let me get away with it. They might let Rob do it. All right, here's the truth. So my dad and my mom went to a Christmas party one time, and gag gift kind of thing. Kendra says, you lie, they are not comfortable. You must have worn it for a second. I'm getting here to tell you about wearing it. For sure. I worn them. So at this party, they exchange gifts and all that. My dad gets 2 sets of silk thongs. One is zebra print and one is cheetah leopard print, something like that. One of them African cats, right? And I go down and my dad's like, I don't know what we were doing. And they goes, take this shit and get it out of my house. All right, Dad, I'll do it. And this is probably about 20 years ago. Late 20s, early 30s. So one night, I don't know why I kept them. One night, I decided I'm going to surprise Miss Pruitt with those leopard thongs. Now, I'm going to tell you, listen, I put them on. It being silk, the front was pretty nice. But you ain't lying. It's like, it is right up the backside. Not the most comfortable thing in the world. But you know what? I'm a confident man. Mrs. Pruitt's in the bedroom. I sneak off in the other bathroom and I slide these things on. And I go walking through the house. The kids are in the bed. And I go walking through the house. And I go into the bedroom door and I close it behind me, nice and slow. And I flip on the lights. And here I am in all my glory, which ain't much, but I'm in all my glory, and these leopard thongs. And I'm looking at Miss Pruitt. I'm like, tonight you're mine. I said that like Jackie, right? Tonight you're mine. My wife looked at me and goes, what the hell are you doing? I'm not lying. She goes, what the hell is that? And I said, you don't like them? She goes, no. I said, wait till you see the backside. And I turned around and I hit a flex pose like that, squeezed my ass cheeks real tight. I tried to do this my best Arnold Schwarzenegger from the beach in California kind of pose. And Amanda goes, you look ridiculous. She goes, you absolutely got to quit. And I did shave my chest one time, just like G-Man. And I went in there and about the same damn thing. I thought she'd like it. And she looked at me like, you look like you're 13. And of course I looked down and I probably did. I mean, I wasn't ripped or nothing. Tony goes, are any of you guys surprised? But I will tell you, if you've never worn a thong, I don't know how women do it. I don't know how to get away with it. It's not comfortable. Too much information, Danny. I will tell anybody that will listen, in 93, the jock straps we had sucked. I wore some of them too. Absolutely. Glad the kids were asleep. This is an unreal story. No, true story. It happened. Wait, Coleman, wait. You're getting married. I would rather go commando. Well, see, Kendra, that's what I do. I do go commando. But then you got to go back and watch the episode where I shit the bed. That is the infamous, what's that stuff I drank, guys? What's that fermented stuff out of Europe? Oh, crud, I can't think of it. Kind of like the yogurt stuff. I can't even think of it. Kefir. Yeah, I drank a bunch of kefir. Don't drink a bunch of kefir. You're only supposed to drink like a little bit. I drank a whole half gallon because that shit tasted like really good buttermilk. Don't try to squeeze a fart out about 2 a.m. with that stuff, especially if you're commando in the bed. I don't want to repeat that whole story, but there is an episode where you need to go watch it. It's worth listening to. She got a good laugh out of it, I bet, because I know my wife would laugh way too hard. Yeah, we're really comfortable with each other. For sure, she laughed at me. Did the Iron Dome? No, man, there was no Iron Dome back then. We was in our 20s, man. That was the night the Iron Dome was invented. No, man. No, Iron Dome did not apply. Now, Cam says my old lady ordered me some silk briefs with her face on them that says, I'm not even going to read that. You guys read it. I can't, like you had me, Cam, till I had that comment, and I can't read that one. Carson, you've never heard that story. Kefir. I thought everybody heard the Kefir story. Aaron said, just emailed you the first half of that swindle catch. Wouldn't let me send more than 33 megabytes, so I had to screen record it and chop it in half. For sure. Now, Doug Rice says, I'm down in the Gulf of America with my wife, and she's laughing uncontrollably. Well, Doug, I'm glad I can make her laugh. Aaron's got to hop off. See you, buddy. Carson, you never heard that? I'll give you the quick rundown. Had stomach issues. Lady at church. She's a nurse. She goes, drink you some kefirs, probiotics. It's good. Fine. Went in there, bought some, and I'll see if we can send you the swindle video, Kendra. Drank it a little bit. I'm like, I like this stuff because I like buttermilk. I can drink a whole gallon of buttermilk. So I drank it all. Laid in bed naked that night, tried to squeeze a little poot out. My wife hates it when I do that in the bed, so I even was nice because I didn't want to Dutch oven her, and I took the covers kind of off, and I just had my butt kind of hanging off a little bit. Just going to squeeze it out real quick, and all of a sudden, boom, the back of my ankles were 98.5 degrees because that thing shot like a daggum rocket right out my ass. Yeah, and then I had to do remember? No, you don't remember. Then I had to kind of tight waddle it to the bathroom. I was like totally freaking out because my wife was still asleep, and I thought I must have got it all over the bed and everything. And then when I sat down on the toilet, my backside was so dirty, I just fell off of it. I slid right off of it. Now I got it in the floor. It's all over the toilet. I'm doing the best cleanup job I can. It's absolutely just, it's like you drank that stuff the night before you got a colonoscopy and just doing all that stuff. And then I had to go back in and I had to try to play, kind of Mission Impossible and get some of the covers off the bed. And without waking my wife up, and right there towards the end, she goes, what are you doing? Baby, I shit the bed. You what? Well, I did, and so yeah, old man, the Kefir story. It comes around every so often, right? It comes around every so often. But don't drink a whole, what's up, boss? 8:14 flying in time. Don't drink a whole half gallon of Kefir, boys. You can't do it. No, Messick, I did. I sat down on the toilet because I can't see. I can only feel. Okay, I know it's hot back there. I know it ain't right because I'm walking tight-lipped to the bathroom, but I got to go again. So, I flipped the toilet. The toilet seat was down. I flipped the lid up, went to sit down, and I went like you shoot a daggone watermelon seed through your fingers. Just right off of it. I hit my head on the bathtub right beside it. So now I got a concussion. I got it all over me. It's chaos. Don't drink a half gallon of Kefir. True story. I went from, thongs to Kefir. That's just the way it is. You guys can, y'all can get the visual in your head. People say I'm way too comfortable with you people. Mental note taken. Yeah, Kendra, seriously, don't ever drink all that stuff. Danny, that was a rough night. Yes, sir. It was. My wife heard me listening to the show. The last few minutes of this, there would be absolutely nothing I could say to convince her that this was a fishing podcast. Well, true. Technically, though, Lunch Break ain't a fishing podcast. It is whatever crosses my mind, right? I can't even order my Zaxby's. I know these people think I'm crazy. Danny's chocolate starfish. Bloomed hell. Blew up. I stay commando, but last bad wreck, I met my wife, the flight nurse, so it was worth it. Hey, that's when the stars aligned, right? Now listen, I got to think about that for a second, Far Dog. Did you say, let me just read that again. Let's go back up to this one. Okay, you had a wreck. Your wife was a flight nurse, so you're getting life flighted somewhere. And your wife fell in love with you during that thing because you didn't have no underwear on? That is a country song. Did I read that correctly? That's a country song. Zaxby's do be banging. I like Zaxby's. Kicking chicken sandwich meal with extra Zax sauce, extra red sauce, and extra ranch. I mean, I want that joker wet. It's appropriate boat conversation and stories. I'm just glad I can make you guys smile. The O-ring gave out. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. She didn't get mad at me, though. I thought she'd be really mad at me. But I don't know how many of you guys like buttermilk, but I'm like, whoo. Jeff says, damn, brother, I don't believe I would have told that one. Oh, dude, Jeff, that ain't even – listen, I got him a lot better than that. I got him a lot better than that. But that's just the way it is. See, a lot of you guys, things like this have happened to you. But you don't you don't want to share it because you think people make fun of you. It's okay. You got to be able to laugh at yourself. You got to be able to laugh. Let people laugh with you. Laugh at you, laugh with you. It's okay. Vapor locked at the Zaxby's. Zaxby's loaded fries are fire. That O-ring comment just made me spit out my food. Yeah, I know that was a good one. Buttermilk and pickle go like me and fish, 100%. Yeah. I ain't a big pickle fan, though. I like pickled pig's feet. I like pickled, hot dogs. Go to the Tijuana Mamas. I like all that stuff. But I don't like pickles. I don't know. Go figure. Yes, sir. Brunette and I guess she felt bad thinking I couldn't afford underwear. I guess so, dude. So it was a sympathy. She fell in love with you out of sympathy, huh? Oh, I like pickle juice in my bread. Okay, I got you. I know, listen, like I know there's pickle juice in Chick-fil-A's. I mean, it's okay. I just don't, and I'll drink pickle juice for like cramps, but I just don't like pickles. The only thing getting better, my wife is vapor locked right now. Well, she's got a hell of a sense of humor right there. These are real life problems. Good to get them out in the open, I guess. Listen, every one of you guys have experienced something like that. Maybe not with the kefir, okay? Maybe not, maybe not that. I'm sure you sharted before. It gets real when you shat yourself in the shower on accident, for sure. Absolutely. Buttermilk is gross. I won't even use ranch made with buttermilk. Jeremy, come on. You ain't Southern. You got to drink that buttermilk, man. Put some cornbread in there, pour some buttermilk over it, or some saltine crackers with buttermilk over it. You can eat that. Or I just drink it straight. You get that daggone little fermentation, that kind of funky feeling in your mouth. When me and my Rob, I can't read that comment. You guys just go read Rob's comment. Just read Rob's comment. I can't read that one. Mine's Jose Cuervo fell through a generational tree one New Year's. Oh, yeah, I know it. I can do that. What's your schedule at Gunnersville this weekend? Gonna leave here Friday morning early. Head over there and meet Ken over at Goose Pond. Is that it? Wherever. Hang around, talk to people, wherever we can do. Go back to Dave's house Friday night and then be back over there all day Saturday. Doug Rice, been there, done that. At my age, I never trust a fart. I know. All right, Alex, go back to work. We don't want you losing that job on your third day. Crumbled up cornbread and a cup of buttermilk is fire. Now, Rob, yeah, see, Tracy must have read it. No, it's not that bad. I just don't know that I can, Rob's wife bought a toy. He thought it was for her. She said it was for him. You guys know the rest. All right, slept under a pong table after I turned all the heat off. Good Lord. All right, how long have we been going? Let's keep going. It's hump day. It's hump day. Do you guys want to get back on the fish and talk, or y'all just want me to keep talking about how I crap myself? I'd prefer to get back on the fish and talk. Never had it happen to me in waiters. Now, give me a bowl of beans for crumbled up cornbread. For sure. No, I love that too. I mean, cornbread goes with everything. Have you ever tried coffee made? No, I have not. Okay, what is the name of that? Because you all seen that movie, The Bucket List, where there's that coffee that they make where the beans have already been eaten by, he says, a cat. I can't remember what it was. Then it comes out in the feces of the cat. Then they separate the beans from the feces, and then they roast the beans and all that. It is a luxury coffee, and it is a real thing. It's a real thing. I can't afford it. Okay, I'm a Maxwell house, or right now Maxwell apartments kind of guy. So no, I'm sure some of these guys right there could afford it. I could not afford that. Would I try it? Sure. Jack Nicholson loved that coffee. I just can't remember the name of it. Is it Bats? Atlanta Outdoor says it's Bats, not Cats. Okay. When do I want to go to Carter's, Kevin? Let's set it up here in the next couple of weeks. We'll do that. Let me ask you this, though, Rob. Have you ever done it during a tournament, specifically an NPFL tournament? What's worse was I had to ride 2 hours to my spot. I just sat in my pants for a long minute. Oh, I got you like that. There is a name for that coffee, for that specific coffee bean. And I don't know what it is. Okay. James. Kapaluak or Kapaluak or something like that. Kopi Luwak, Tony said. Kopi Lusaka, Atlanta Outdoor said. So Kopi something. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I eat a lot of things. I have my limits. Capahula, Mexico. You guys know what, but everybody kind of knows what we're talking about, right? It's just that crazy ass coffee. I put a bag in the live well and let it sit there more than a few times. Now you're talking about what you guys do on the boat when you have to go number 2. Still better than Kevin's though, stripping naked and going off the back. I just don't see how that old man does it. When it comes to coffee, now I tell you what though, if you ever get a chance to go to Amsterdam, and I've been fortunate to spend a little time in Amsterdam, not a lot, just a little time. That coffee in Amsterdam kicks every bit of coffee you'll ever have here. Not even close. That's like light bulb awakening moment coffee. It was amazing. It's like I ordered, because you can go into this restaurant. We've talked about here before. You can order the American, they got American style for the tourists, and you can get the Dutch coffee and all that. I'm like, well, I want that Dutch coffee right there. Good night. I don't know where it came from. Don't know where it was grown, whatever. But that was like if you have coffee in heaven, it's going to be Dutch coffee. And Pepsi Zero, I hope. The beans are recovered from the civet's cat feces. Ugh. As a kid, we'd eat a bunch of pork and beans for supper, then go camp out on Notley River and catfish all night. My dad, my uncle, my cousin. You can imagine the fun around the fire, for sure. For sure. 814 says, I agree. They got some great greenery, too. And I know what greenery you're talking about. But it was right there at the red light district. I forget the name. We talked about it. Somebody said it on here before. We talked about it one time, and somebody named it. It's not down there in the red light district. It's kind of on this side. For those of you that know what the red light district is in Amsterdam. My wife said she would my wife said she would know a sweet woman for Jackie. I said he might be a little too wild still. Yeah. Could you see Jackie in Amsterdam? That might be fun. Did you eat horse while you were there too? No, but my partner here, Josh, he went to Japan and he had raw horse and raw chicken in a meal. And it is horse that is raised on a special diet. See you, Tracy. It's horse that's raised on a special diet, and it's raw. He's got pictures. He said it was good. Any juice for Chatoog for Saturday? Got a tournament there. Topwater and Flukes from what everybody's talked about. Topwater and Flukes. And don't disregard the shallow bite. Let's just put it that way. Hate to say it, a horse burger isn't any different. Oh, yeah. I mean, I've never had the burger. I've never done it. Jeff says, I don't drink coffee, much less the cat kind, for sure. Y'all don't turn the nozzle in your live well around and use it for a bidet. Hey, is that how did I say it? Perfect toilet and pump it out? No, James. No, we don't. Jackie is definitely feral. That is a good way. Oh. Pro poop tip. Hold steering wheel with right hand, firm the grass seat, or throttle with left hand. You may need to put the throttle in reverse depending on the size, and at this point, you are ready to release. That is from Colton Posey from Alabama. The live well turned foul real quick. Yeah, it went downhill. And you know what? There was nothing I could do to stop it either. There was nothing I could do to stop it. You wouldn't want to see me in Amsterdam. Jeremy, I'm telling you, you're from Kentucky. You'd be out of place. But I tell you what, I'd go with you. It'd be fun. Think about doing a mobile tackle shop in Florida. Any suggestions? Hold on a second. Let me think. My biggest fear is going number 2 tournament day. Thank God in 8 years it's never happened. You just got to squeeze tight and keep fishing. That's what I do. I would say if I were doing a mobile tackle shop and you're going to be going around lakes and boat ramps and things like that, terminal tackle first and foremost before everything, then line, then pick you out about 15 baits. Don't go crazy on it. But terminal tackle will be the big one. In 8 years, I've only had to pee 2 times. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's pretty good. Now, I'm one of those guys that just, it don't matter if we're out in the middle of Lake Lanier. I'm on the back of the boat. I'm going. I don't care if the jet skiers are around there. There's a lot of guys I know, though, that are really shy, and we got to back them into the back of coves to do it. Not me. I'm like, they're not seeing nothing. Calling out Yankees, but born and raised in Georgia, and you sing the praises of Pepsi. No, just Pepsi Zero. Because ever since COVID, again, my taste buds changed, and I started liking diet drinks. And, of course, I go to lose weight. But Pepsi Zero tastes more like actual Pepsi than Coke Zero tastes like Coke. I drink them both, but I prefer Pepsi Zero. I wish you could go every time. I'm sure that's, I have to tell you one day about the woman at the baseball game. You can kind of, in your mind, imagine it. I had the cops call to me because I pooped on the side of a boat. The cop said, you need to get out further because residents can see you. Yeah, I could see that. L5 Patriot said, what's going on, guys? Who throws a Dixie spoon? Any of you guys on YouTube throw a Dixie spoon? Our buddy from Texas wants to know. Dan Parker's on Lake Murray. Now, I'm jealous because I'd like to go up to Murray and fish. We talked about Murray last night some. Jake Maddox was on a little bit too because he had fished with that's the reason Jackie was here. They fished together a little bit. He doesn't like spotted bass though. You guys remember him saying that? Like, oh. Coke Zero tastes like flat Coke, nasty drink to me. Again, that's what I'm saying. Pepsi Zero is actually pretty okay. Cam says, oh, I'm whipping it out going off the boat number 2. I'll bank us and run up in the woods. Hope it's not somebody's campsite for sure. To get to be a millionaire in the tackle business, start with $2 million. I can tell you right now. Now, again, too, the mobile tackle shop, let me just tell you this. The margins in fishing tackle on the bass side of things is not good. If you expect to do something and be a millionaire with a tackle shop, just go ahead and tell you it ain't going to happen. Unless you are the sole owner of something like Tackle Warehouse. Now, can you make a living doing it? Yes. But think of it this way. You buy from a distributor a pack of Zoom worms, and you've got your wholesale price. And then you add, basically, because they set the price, because a lot of these companies set the price, the MAP pricing and all that, you get 28% on top of that. So basically, you're making another $1.25. Okay? You make $1.25 selling a pack of worms. That's your profit. Now you take all your expenses out of that. It's not as easy as people make. It's a fun job. It is a great place for people to come talk to. But think of how many packs of worms at $1.25 minus your expenses you have to sell to make some good money at it. And if you're doing a mobile one, now you got gas, car insurance. I mean, you have your cost as well with those things. So I hope you do it. Go for it. But I will tell you, like, your profits are in apparel, fly fishing, trout fishing. They're better. And rods and reels. But in just straight baits and stuff like that, you're looking at 25 to 35%. So you average it out to 30. So you absolutely got to do that. $3.4 billion business lost in a rabbit hole. Yeah. Let's see. I bet they're schooling like crazy on Murray, stripers, and largemouth. That's why I think I'd love to go right now. Zoom worms at Ralston's Corner gas station by Carter's are either 12 or 13 bucks. Pretty sure they're $12.99 a pack. I'm just going to tell you that's gouged. That's gouged. I couldn't run a tackle shop. All my products would be lightly used. I know. 100%. It's the worst thing in the world on a Friday afternoon. Shop closes and you got a tournament the next day. And it's just you in this shop by yourself. And you're just looking at it. And you're like, huh. But here's a secret. If you own a tackle shop and you get product in, you put it on a store and you go and you pick it off the wall for personal use, you have to pay a use tax every month. So you have to add up the wholesale value of all the stuff that you used. And then you actually have to pay a tax on that. Because when you buy something at wholesale, you have what's called a retailer's license. And so when I buy from a wholesaler, I don't have to pay taxes on it. So if they say this bait costs $5, it costs me $5. And then when I sell it, I charge the retail sales tax and all that, and I pay it to the state and to the county, the local government. But if it's a $5 thing on your wall and you go use it, and then your inventory comes off wrong at the end of the year, they're gonna say, okay, you're missing. Dang, Danny, you're missing 22 packs of Zoom Green Pumpkin Magic Mag Shaky Head Worms. What happened to those? I used them. All right, well, that was $5 a pack, so now you owe taxes on that. And that's kind of how it works. I hate taxes. My God, they tax you on everything. I think I get taxed every time I walk in the door here. But I will tell you this, James, Zoom worms, unless it's a 40-pack, they shouldn't cost $13. They shouldn't cost $13. Bottom Line Outdoor says, I currently do rod and reel repair. And listen, mobile that's something that's needed. I had a guy that did some rod repair and reel repair here. And bless his heart, he was an older guy. He did great work, but he took way too long to get stuff back. So now if somebody comes in, I send them either to Nutters in Cartersville or I tell them to call Hammonds and see who Hammonds uses. I think I charge $6 and now this is I think it might have gone up a little, but I think my Zoom like mag trick worms are $6.49. So, but yeah, Zoom, listen, there ain't no Zoom product out there where, and again, I'm not knocking Zoom, but not $13. No way. There's a convenience store shop in Eaton with flukes for $10. Well, listen though, the word right there is convenience store. For sure, it's going to be much more expensive in a convenience store. What's up, Joseph Castleberry? I mean, that's why, you go in there and a Coke is Pepsi Zero, 20 ounce, $2.79 now, right? You go down there to the Dollar General just down past it and you can buy an entire 6-pack. Of course, it's not refrigerated for $5.49 because it's in that convenience store. I ran a tackle store for 5 years most of the time. I never got anything off the shelf. I specifically order my stuff to have a different stuff from the locals. Yeah. The argument against Cinco's being expensive, they are cheaper than Berkeley worms everyone's talking about lately. Yeah, listen, I know. Yeah. And the prices are going up because even if it's an American-made stuff, a lot of the stuff they get from overseas, right? So, I mean, it is happening. That's why I moved away from Georgia because they were killing me on taxes. And Zoom is $6.99 here in Oklahoma. See, that's about what I charge for them. Property taxes just came out too. $4,400 for mine, just for the county to tell me I can't put a metal carport in my yard. Government and taxes are both ridiculous. It's gone up bad here. Property values in this area alone, I would say the value of my house is 2.5 times higher now than what it was, just to be on the safe side, 5 years ago. But more realistically, like 4.5, 3 years. 3 years. Same here in South Carolina. See, Zoom, that's about right. That's B.A.S.S. That's the closest thing we have here in Milledgeville to a tackle shop. And listen, sometimes too, Now, consider this. Consider this, though. I want you guys to really do consider this for a local tackle shop compared to a tackle warehouse. If I buy VMC hooks from my distributor and then I mark them up to a reasonable margin for me to make, and let's just say 30%, that little margin, kind of like what the average is. There are still some things on Tackle Warehouse that were the same price that they sell it for is cheaper than what I can sell it for with my, it's like cheaper than my wholesale. And then I have to put some money on top of it. So with the small, that's because they do so much volume. So with a smaller tackle shop, you are going to pay $1 or $2 more, or, a little bit more here and there for certain items. That argument to me is well worth it, though. And like I said, and I know Jake that was on here last night, he's with Tackle Warehouse. I buy stuff off Tackle Warehouse that I can't get. I can't buy every company out there. So, I shop there. I get it. But if you have the chance and, excuse me, and you have a chance and you say, all right, Zoom in this tackle shop is $7.59, but I can get them at Walmart for $6.49. Pay the $7.59 at your local tackle shop and help those people out. You get what I'm saying? Walmart's going to sell enough Rubbermaid and all that other stuff. Don't nitpick it too much when it comes to a local tackle shop because it's just different margins. It's just different ways they got to operate, and they don't have the volume that the mass stores do. Now, $12.99, too high. That right there is just ridiculously too high. That's not even playing on the same ball field. But you know what I'm saying. The houses they're putting up in the subdivision in South Carolina are trash, $300,000 house that'll fall apart in a couple years. When I did heating and air, guys, listen, and it ain't been that long ago, you could go into some of these subdivisions that were being thrown up really quick, and we would have to put the systems in, and there's no sheetrock on the wall because it was the new construction phase of it. You could go up the walls and grab in the middle of the wall, and you could shake. And I'm not talking about with a lot of effort. I'm talking about you literally could move walls. You could go up into the attic where we were putting in ductwork and all that, and they didn't have not all of them had the right bracing and support, and you could grab in the middle of the roof line, and you honestly can move it up 2 to 3 inches. But they were throwing them up so fast. Now, again, we're talking 15, 20 years ago, so hopefully the standards have gone up. I know Tony's in construction, and I'm sure if he would tell me if they were, their standards got to be better now than what they used to be. But listen, right up here, road out beside the shop, you go up the road here, a 2-acre lot with a nice little double wide. Okay? And they're pretty little double wides. But the lots are they got enough room for a double wide, and in the backyard's rolling down a steep hill. They start at $400,000 plus. And that is right here in the middle of boom freaking Egypt, Marble Hill. Danny, my 3 newest neighbors are from Colorado. Scares the crap out of me. In my county, we're getting a lot of California folks. If you go to Montana, if you ever go to Montana, pay attention next time because a lot of Californians have moved up to Montana. And if you're from California, hey, I'm not knocking you. It's just, but a lot of them are moving out and they go up there. The only problem is they want to get out of that state because of all the chaos and all that's going there, but they bring it into where they're at. If you move to Montana, be a Montanian. If you move to Oklahoma, fit in with the Oklahoma people. Danny, please look up Hochatown, Oklahoma, and everyone else, and you will see what Far Dog is dealing with. I will. Let's see. You guys we've jumped into daggum subdivisions now. We've gone all over the place. I'm in the concrete world, so seeing all of these subdivisions come into Greenville and Spartanburg, South Carolina, they're all the same, almost like Lego houses in a way. Well, that's because, look, it's cost effective. And I'm sure Tony's probably back at work. He could definitely chime in on this, but it's cost effective. Same plan, same takeoff, pretty much. Boom, 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 boom. Throw them up. Everybody knows what's going in there. Not a lot of changes, and they can throw them up. The biggest problem with housing, though, to me right now, the biggest problem with housing is these big corporations coming in and buying entire subdivisions and turning them into rental properties. And the price has gone up, and you get people that are 22 to 25 that have gotten married, young people, and they can't afford what a house is now. My son and his wife tried to get in all kinds of starter homes, and they're almost $400,000. It's crazy. And they bought a fixer-upper. Now, they got a fantastic lot over in Hall County, but his house was built in the 50s. And when you say rough cut lumber, back then they used rough cut lumber. And we had to do a lot of work to get it, to get it right for them. But still, it was 200, it was high 200s. It's crazy. I really don't know. But see, that's so much different. Like when our grandfathers were alive, my grandfather, my Papa Pruitt, I believe worked as a janitor for Fulton County Schools pretty much all his life. Had a house in Alpharetta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 kids, and raised them all on the janitor. And maybe my granny might have worked a little bit. I don't remember. It's been a long time ago. Not a lot of money. Now, when my dad's generation came, things got a little bit different, right? It changed a little bit. And then by the time my generation came, it took 2 incomes. And now you got these kids out there now, and it's like, oh, my Lord. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how do they do it? I don't know how my kid does it. And I don't know how people are affording. And listen, if you got it, go buy it. Kendra said, I'm helping my son who's 19 to save and invest so he can buy a house versus renting. Well, I'll tell you this. My middle child, my daughter, is a nurse, makes fantastic money. She was in Johns Creek because it was closer to where she worked at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. She was paying $2,400 a month for 800 square feet. And so what we did, we said, look, we have an upstairs thing. I said, why don't you just move back home? She works at night, so, it's not a conflict or anything like that. And I said, move back home and save your money and then just go pay cash for something because you make the money, or have a huge down payment so you don't have that's a lot of people do that. Now, if you go back and look through time, it's only recently, honest to gosh, it's only recently where your kids are expected to be out of the house at 18, 19. That's kind of in the course of history. Families used to stay together or right there together for a long time, or on the same piece of land, and oftentimes in the same house until they could afford to do something like that. And so this, our modern society is not like that. And the rent is more than a mortgage payment. Things have changed. So I'm cutting a contract. I have a 32 house mobile home park right now, and it's spread out and more appealing to me than reaching out the window and touching a neighbor in a house built with crap. I will tell you this. I got one rule, and I told my wife when we built my house, and I know this is shallow and it's the way guys think, but if I can't walk off my back porch and pee without somebody calling the cops on me, I don't want to live there. I don't want to live there. Danny, I remember when me and Dad would go to the grocery store and spend $40, and that would last us a week. I'm telling you. It's changed. But the way we are, it's going to go back. You watch this. It's going to go back where kids are going to stay with their parents a lot longer than what they used to. And it's okay. It's not a failure to flight, like that. It's just the way it is. It's so daggum expensive right now. But will there be a correction? I don't know. Think about gas. You guys remember, now some of you younger ones don't, but I can remember the first time I saw $3 a gallon gas. And if I want to say, it was when the first time I ever paid $3 a gallon for gas was when Katrina hit New Orleans. And the reason I remember it was because we had a tournament on Lanier, and I put my boat into a gas station in Dawsonville to get gas for that night, and it was $3 and something a gallon. That's the first time I ever remember paying $3 a gallon for gas. And that was way up, right? But then eventually, and we all fussed about it, and even, back here recently, we got $3 or $4. But, it never really goes back down. You have a little drop every once in a while, but we got used to paying $3 a gallon gas. People in California are used to paying whatever it is, like $7, $8 a gallon, whatever. But we get used to it, and it never really goes back down like it was. I remember I got gas in high school for 67 cents a gallon. Still remember. I saw $2.37 a gallon in the North Carolina Appalachians, and I'm only 24. See, it happens. It happens. But now when it goes back up, now it's almost $4 a gallon again. But see, like back then, we all had a fit when that happened. And now we're kind of like, well, it is. It is. Around here in Oklahoma, a quality chuck roast will cost you $30 minimum, and you can't afford brisket. So go to a local butcher shop. I will honestly too. That's why I deer hunt. That's why a lot of people hunt. Now, it depends on how much money you spend. It can be more expensive than beef if you put a ton of money into it. But it's crazy. Um, I don't know what a quart of hash costs. uh, have you guys heard? Okay, it went out, so you have to pop that back on again. I have a family of 5, and if you're not bringing in 75K or better, you're on the struggle bus. I know, and a lot of people are. So that's kind of like, again, I'm going to tie that into sometimes when we get these tournaments and things, think about medical expenses and stuff like that. And I know we don't have a lot of indisposable income, but you never know when $5 will help somebody else out. You got to be willing to give it. Sooner or later, something is going to have to give. I'm not an economic expert by any means, but it's coming. Too much water for the dam not to bust. We can only hope that when it does, that we're as prepared as can be. But you never know. It's changed a lot in my lifetime. My kids are young. I'm just wondering what it's going to be in 10 years or when I'm gone. What's it going to be like? How expensive is it going to be? And again, we're talking about life. Waterfowl is $90 for the stamps here, and yet a wood duck sells for $90. That's interesting. I didn't know that. It's not that expensive to hunt in Georgia. Hunting is and fishing too. It's only as expensive as you make it or want it to be. You see what I'm saying? I mean, a lot of people listen, you can go buy that $40 bait. And if you've got the discretionary income, can do it for sure. Just don't end up being the guy who's fishing the Friday night pot tournament and is upset because he didn't win and he can't make his mortgage payment now. You got to kind of play it right. If nothing gives, home ownership for a modern young person isn't worth it. I saw a thing, and we'll get off here in a second. I know we're going long again today. But I saw a thing on the news the other day where there are people, and I'm talking like middle-class people. They're doing one of two things. A lot of them are RVing it, buying them a camper, living in RV parks because it's cheaper. They pay cash for the camper, and they just pay the lot rent. Then there are others who are living in these hotels, that cost them, say, $129 to $200 a week. And the woman was on there, and she was breaking it down. She goes, well, it makes sense. Because they can go from hotel to hotel. I guess I don't know how long you can stay at one particular one, but you can go around, bump around to them. They don't have to pay for water, electricity, all these things, all these other bills that we normally would have with home ownership. They don't have to pay it, and they're like, we're able to save money right now, and we can go live in a different place every 2 to 3 weeks. They put most of their belongings in storage, so they have a little storage fee, but they go live in a nicer, longer stay hotel for 2 or 3 weeks at a time. And so they're spending less than $1,000 a month for a roof over their head, for a little kitchenette, for cable, for water, heat, and air, all that stuff. And so you kind of sit back and think about it and you go, well, it would be inconvenient, but yeah, they're saving money. But it's crazy. So fishing license in Georgia, I tell you, Messick, I can get the outdoor license with the little fee. That's hunting and fishing and trout. I think everything but a federal duck stamp or something like. I don't know. I don't duck hunt. It's like around $70. My HOA went from $200 to $600 a month over the course of 7 years. Can't wait to get out of Atlanta. I'm telling you, that's about my property tax too over there. I know that my daughter called me last night, and she's in Virginia, and she had to sign a new rental agreement. And I know her rent went up $100, which ain't crazy, but it's still $100 more expensive for this next 12 months than it was the last 12 months. So, all right, guys, with that, we've talked for a while. We probably could end up talking all day long. I love it when you guys. Off topic, but Jackie is hilarious. I've only watched the first 15 minutes so far. Great guest. I've seen him on Mercer in the morning quite a few times. Just wait. If you've only made it 15 minutes, it gets a little bit crazier as we go on. But I enjoy talking with you guys today. So we'll be back tomorrow at noon. Who the hell knows what we'll talk about? It'll be something. And then I haven't figured out the guest just yet for the Livewell or the topic for the Livewell tomorrow night, but you can rest assured it's going to be something really good. We're Real quick, Far Dog says, Danny, with me still welding around the country, folks would be surprised at how many families stay in extended stay places. Right. Now, Kendra, I promise I'm not going to blow my O-ring out tonight. And you don't blow your O-ring out either. Explain that to some of the people on your live. Explain to them the O-ring. They'll be looking at you like, what? But Cam said, I'll see you tomorrow before the lunch break sometime, stopping by on my way up. Absolutely. Come see me. Come see me. Yeah, the Ultimate Angler starts tomorrow. Going to be very interesting. Looking forward to going up there Friday and Saturday. So with that, I'm going to let you people on TikTok go. Y'all have a great rest of your day. And you guys on YouTube as well. Hey, hell of a conversation today. It's like a workout when I talk with you guys. Like I'm serious. I get up and I'm like, I'm sore. But it's good. Good for my health. So you guys be good. Enjoy the rest of your day. Tomorrow's Thursday. You're closer to that weekend than you know. Y'all be good. I appreciate you guys more than you could ever imagine.